Rahubat Hau. This is Ro again, back at it again with another video. Now this is week 1 of September. Now this week is the beginning of a structural shift in the collective consciousness. Saturn changes signs, Mars squares Jupiter, Mercury trines Chiron, Mercury moves into Virgo. We won't talk about the eclipse in this video. However, you will definitely start to feel it if you haven't already. Buckle up and let's blast off into a week full of structural organization and discipline. So, let's get to it!
Cookie cutter pie, fuck a pan. 3D printer Glock, couple band. Disappear, see it in my hand. Legal shooter, make them overstand. Half court, full court, state court, magistrate court, beat the light. Nigga, who is you? Cause I forgot hit the booth and I go cool, Kakarot.
Transit breakdown. August 31st. As the moon continues to travel through Sagittarius, Mercury in Leo creates a trine with Chiron in Aries at 26 degrees. Now 26 is a Taurus degree, and unfortunately Taurus is the most stable sign. The most stubborn, but still stable. There is supportive energy in the sky for speaking about traumas today, in respect to how we boldly communicate our own individual healing is supported. Today is a good day to take time to analyze our trauma and then talk about them to our own individual trusted sources. Ooh. I would like to mention that even though there is supportive energy in a positive way, with Pluto still 180 degrees away by sign to Mercury and Venus, some people may trauma dump onto others or speak about their trauma in a non-healthy way that can cause problems. Okay? Please don't be that person. Also, as stated yesterday, the moon is now squaring the nose today. If you want to know more about that, go back and watch my last video to find out what that means for the day, as we should be feeling those energies. September 1st. Today is the big, divinely karmic day. Okay? The moment we have all been waiting for. Now, what is this, you might ask? It's the day that Saturn retrogrades back into Pisces. There is some cleanup needed. When Saturn left Pisces earlier in the year, it made us think that we had concluded that part of the karmic lesson. Sakala. There's still another lesson left that it needs to bring back up to our attention. Okay? This is a divinely structured and karmic time for us to review, restructure, organize, and reclaim our mystic discipline. In respect to the collective consciousness, our relationships, romantic, platonic, and business, are all in the crosshairs. Are you going to take what you structured earlier in April/May of this year seriously? Or will you be like a bad spades player and renege on your hand? The universe is watching, and it will take your books if you decide to try to finesse. You can't finesse the universe. You can't finesse yourself. Stick to your word, stick to your actions. Or not. If you actually find that you want something different, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Sometimes upon receiving further data, we need to make a different, more informed decision. However, if you are finding yourself in the same situation and feeling like you need to make the same decisions, don't cheat yourself. On the same day, the moon in Sagittarius trines Chiron in Aries. This is the population's perspective optimistically supporting our own individual healing. Take the time to really do any shadow work you may feel is necessary today. Also on this day, Mercury in Leo at 29 degrees is in conjunct Saturn retrograde in Pisces. This is a harsh aspect, as the way we are divinely restructuring our dream life is at odds with how our brain rationalizes and analyzes. Today, we may be a little harder to make proper decisions. Sorry, today may be a little harder to make proper decisions. With the sun 180 degrees away by sign in Virgo, we will be able to see the restructuring process occurring through our relationships. However, with Mercury 12th house from the sun, plus the inconjunct of Mercury to Saturn, we may not be able to process what we are seeing logically. Take your time to really sit with your thoughts today. That may help you find the pieces to the puzzle. September 2nd. Last night, the moon went into Capricorn. So when we wake up in the AM, we may feel less perspective focused and more, how do I utilize this perspective to better myself and the collective? When we wake up, Mercury has moved into one of his home signs, Virgo. This time period will mark a few weeks of easier brain processing ability for the population at large. We will be able to logically ground our thoughts in more practical manners, like getting work done or being of service to people or ourselves. Upon waking, however, Mercury creates a square with Uranus in Gemini. This is a sudden revelation of truth, challenging what we think should be logically sound. In respect to our critical thinking, we will find there may be some randomized yet structured expressions about how we are seen in the world. I say that to say that the very beginning of this Mercury and Virgo transit may not feel as grounded as normal. Okay? We may be processing on wobbly grounds. Just keep that in mind for the next few days. September 3rd. When the clock strikes midnight, your boy is now 33 years young. Yeah. Wish me a joyous solar return in the comments. Side note, and a selfless plug. Also, if your solar return is coming up and you want a solar return reading, click the link in my bio now. Click the link in my bio. As the moon moves through Capricorn, it comes into opposition with Jupiter in Cancer. This is a harvest of the expanded psychic nature we activated 2 weeks ago. That activation triggered a psychic understanding of our legacy, and in respect to the collective, how our network will help us nurture that legacy. Now it's time to harvest the karmic structure of said legacy and understand the practical utilization of how we feel about the implications that this quality of action presents. Ooh, that's a bar. Did you water your crops over the past 2 weeks? What actionable and practical steps have you taken to nurture your legacy? Let me know in the comments below. Also, currently, there are a few 18-degree energies present in the sky. Okay, Jupiter, the moon, Rahu, and Ketu. Now, at 18 degrees is a Virgo energy, okay? It's practical, logical, critical, all about work and health, serving the people. Now, as the moon and Jupiter are either trining or sextiling the nodes today, there seems to be an astrological desire to move towards those Virgoan attributes aforementioned. It's interesting, though, because the North Node in Pisces, which is actually the opposite of Virgoan energy. So while the South Node in Virgo, with the South Node in Virgo, the collective is being directed to release logical and practical Virgoan energy and move into more free-flowing and delusional Piscean energy, which is very interesting. I'm very interested to see how this plays out today, as these energies are two sides of the same coin trying to be seen. So I'm very interested to see how this works, how this turns out. September 4th. Late last night, the moon in Capricorn squares Chiron in Aries. Okay, this is the clearing up of the individual healing that we have been able to understand and communicate over the past few days. We now feel more structured and disciplined to take our healing as a population to the next level. Early in the AM, right around 5, or so, right? Mars in Libra squares Jupiter in Cancer. Okay. Man, I need some water. This is an assertion of passive aggressive behavior, challenging the expanded and optimistic nurturing nature that feels like home to us. In respect to this expansion, Mars, fourth house to Cancer, we may feel attacked in the home space. This could be physically or spiritually or even mentally slash psychologically. Okay, the collective consciousness is manifesting this warlike frequency and is being imprinted onto the vibrational current, and with Mars in conjunct to the North Node in Pisces and semi-sextile to the South Node in Virgo, this current is at odds with the releasing of critical past karma and the gravitation towards divine future karma. Ooh, that's a bar. I'm spitting bars today. On the same day, we are now activating the Virgoan version of the Moon and Pluto conjunction in Aquarius. This conjunction happens every month, as do every other moon conjunctions. They just have different flavors depending on the position of the sun, what degree the conjunction occurs, as well as other aspects the conjunction makes. Okay, this is the activation and awakening to understand the detached yet revolutionary energetic quality that is transforming the population's emotions. With this occurring at 1 degree of Aquarius and fifth house to the sun in Virgo, this is the dramatization of a bold yet logical practice of original presence. Yo, I'm spitting bars today. Now remember, Mars is still square Jupiter. So, so this Moon and Pluto conjunction can bring a passive aggressive behavior. So it can bring to the passive aggressive behavior a pure sinister feel to it. It could also bring a more slap a nigga with love feel to it. Now that really depends on your own individual chart, and this is how the day starts off. Okay, keep yourself in a balanced state today, because it may be a doozy. Okay, September 5th. While we are sleeping, the moon opposes Venus in Leo. So unless you're on the opposite side of the planet or the world, like in China, Japan, or something, you may not feel the shift. Okay, it may play out throughout the day, but you might not feel it. Now, this is the harvest of the heartfelt dramatic activation that we had 2 weeks ago. As this is 11/12th house to the sun, depending on the house system being used, and half of the world will be asleep, you may have a dream about overstanding this revolutionary harvest by way of people who represent your network and friend group. Oh, bars. What were you doing 2 weeks ago that you are now harvesting? Okay. You may find yourself dreaming about it. Later on in the day, the moon in Aquarius makes a 240-degree angle with Mars in Libra, creating a trine at 19 degrees. This balanced perspective in respect to the detached emotions of the public is supported and directed by how the collective consciousness values the debilitation of taking action towards politicians and so-called gurus' passive-aggressive behavior. The collective, for some reason, wants to be led anywhere. So even though it is being run off a cliff, it will still follow because it wants to be led somewhere. It values leadership regardless of where it comes from because it is too lazy and incompetent to validate the leader's qualifications and confirm that this person of massive influence is influencing the collective according to the collective's best interest versus their own self-interest. Be the one who can see the forest behind the trees. Now, the trees may be beautiful, the roses may be looking good, but a garden of milk and honey awaits just beyond the horizon. Yo, I'm spitting today, bro. I'm spitting. September 6th. The moon moves into Pisces on this day towards the afternoon hours. This brings the energy of the populace from a more detached, technologically focused, energetic quality into a field of feeling mystic and divine, yet delusional, which is kind of divine too. The moon does not officially oppose Mercury on this day. However, we may start to feel the effects of the tension between overstanding the emotions of the divine and communicating the practical grounded nature of the physical reality. Okay? We will talk about this in the next video, as technically it does not perfect by degree until September 7th. Okay? Half of the world will be asleep while this occurs. However, the energy may still linger throughout the day. Plus, September 7th is the infamous and long-awaited blood moon total lunar eclipse. I'll say it again. The long-awaited blood moon total lunar eclipse in Pisces. In Pisces, and I know you feel it already. All right. More on this in the next video. Now, energy themes of the week, my boy. Ooh. That boy crazy. This week brings a focus on a collective understanding on how the public integrates, one, a homely perspective, two, the bold utilization of this perspective, three, how to work with and be of service to the population with the utilization of the perspective, four, and it ends by closing out with classically balancing the relationship between the perspective, the utilization, and the service of this integration cycle. Boy, I'm fucking spitting. Stay balanced, stay focused, and true to yourself, especially since Sunday is the lunar eclipse and you should be feeling it all week. You've probably been feeling it for a month, but it's gonna be strong, okay? The Virgo and Pisces part of your chart are the stars of the damn show. Now, rising signs and sun signs. We're going to go from Aries all the way to Pisces, like always, okay? Aries rising and Aries sun. As Saturn moves out of your sign to your 12th house, you may feel a relief on your physical body or light body. However, that heaviness / rigidity now moves to your subconscious awareness, okay? You may start to feel like something is heavy, but you can't really pinpoint it, okay? This is a good time to have a dream journal, to meditate, to take spiritual cleansing baths, you know what I'm saying? Practice deep breathing, and to take up a new or continue to practice your divine art, or a divine art, either or, respectively. Be consistently delusional about your belief on how you want your life to be, and you will find later on that when Saturn returns to Aries in the middle to the end of February of next year, that you will have solidified your dream into physical reality. Stay delusionally consistent in your belief and always walk in integrity. Taurus rising and Taurus sun. As Saturn moves from your 12th house to your 11th house, the karmic energy shifts from the subconscious to being able to be aware of it through your friends, your network, and your career rewards, okay? You may, I need some chapstick. You may have some friends and people around you being a little more harder on you, especially in regards to your legacy and career, as Venus in your fourth opposes Pluto in your 10th, and the moon conjuncts Pluto in your 10th, okay? There may be an intense awakening and overstanding of this activation cycle by way of your career and status, accompanied by a serious and structured mutable quality of a divine nature. Remain disciplined and detached from any outcome in order to attract what you desire. I'm such a clown. Well, not really. Fuck it. Gemini rising and Gemini sun. As Saturn moves from your 11th house to your 10th house, there is more discipline required from you in your belief in yourself to utilize your divinity in regards to your career and status. If you rewind your mental clock back to April and May of this year, you may see that there are some similar themes occurring in how you are seen in the world, okay? I would expect a little more responsibility in this area of your life to come about, okay? You may be required to step up in certain situations more often. You may be promoted to a position with more responsibility. It is up to you how you decide to move forward with any energy that comes your way, okay? That goes your way, not my way, your way. Well, towards his way, right? Just remember that your belief and your capabilities hold more weight than your current skill set. Oh, I'm sorry, Gemini. We're on Gemini. My fault. You can make anything happen if you believe and take action towards disciplining yourself. Also remember that you ain't got to do any of this. It's really up to you and what you see fits best in your life and your current situation. All right? You got this, bro. You got this, sis. You got this, twin. It's like, no. Cancer rising and Cancer sun. As Saturn moves from your 10th house to your 9th house, your philosophical approaches to life are restructuring themselves and requiring from you more attention and an air of delusional grounding. Now, I know delusional grounding sounds like an oxymoron because it kind of is. However, being overly optimistic and set in stone in your beliefs can help you gear shift, into a state that can be more easily digested for yourself. Now, of course, leaning too far into delusion can be detrimental, especially when you are talking about philosophy, okay? Because combining the two is akin to diving into psychosis or a mental state to where anything goes because there are no boundaries in how you philosophize your beliefs, okay? Saturn is here to help structure those beliefs, whatever. While simultaneously, because Saturn is moving into Pisces, asking you to regovern and rejuncture how you will ascend to a higher perspective. And sometimes that takes being delusional. Okay? Take it slow and steady, and you may find that you win the race. You see what I did there? I don't know if you like my ball. I gotta like it now. Anyway, Leo rising and Leo sun. As Saturn moves from your 9th house to your 8th house, your investments and your intimate relationships are in the boundaries of Saturn's attention. Have you made any investments? Have you created any intimate relationships with people? If not, why? If you have, why? Saturn is not asking you to necessarily take action on these activities. It's more so asking you to awaken yourself to see if you want to remain where you are or transform into something new. The choice is really up to you. And there's no wrong answer, as this is your life. Your beliefs around intimate sexual relationships may shift as Saturn is calling you to be more disciplined and structured about your beliefs on why you intimately give yourself to people. Okay? What's the reasoning you are being intimate with this person or that person or have an attachment to this idea, concept, or concept of this person? These are all questions that by the middle of February 2026 may be answered. Remember, you are the architect of your own life and you make your universe go round. What and who do you want to be in your gravitational field? For what reason? And how will you do it? Wow. How will you do it? Virgo rising and Virgo sun. Now, as Saturn moves from your 8th house to your 7th house, you are now reconfiguring and reassembling the balanced divine implications of why you believe you need to structure your relationships the way you do. This month, you and Pisces are the stars of the show, okay? So the bulk of the potent energy in the skies is centered around you and Pisces. Find where you lack discipline in your relationships. Find where you are missing pieces in your armor. Saturn is asking you to reframe old relationship patterns and to properly define them and structure them into something that can be best utilized for the betterment of not only yourself, but your relationship to relationships. Bars. Stay focused and keep your eyes on the prize, as, like I mentioned earlier, you and Pisces are the center of attention astrologically this month, especially this week. With Mercury coming into your sign this week for the next 2 weeks or so, give or take a few days, you will have an easier time processing and analyzing the information that is being transmuted to you by Saturn. Make good use of this time. Joyous solar return, Virgo. Joyous solar. Sweet. Sorry, no. Okay. Libra rising and Libra sun. As Saturn moves from your 7th house to your 6th house, there is a shift of structural flow from disciplining yourself in regards to balancing your relationships, whether they be business, platonic, or romantic, to believing in your ability to serve and practically provide a workflow that constitutes and brings form to divining health and wellness into your life. Yo, I'm spitting bars today. This is crazy. It may be a good idea to start a cleanse or detox during this time, as Saturn is solidifying your beliefs and your habits towards your health. I would suggest doing a gut cleanse, colon cleanse, paired with a foot and lymphatic system cleanse. Okay? I know the summer is over, so juicing watermelon is out of the question. However, it may help to start intermittent fasting if you are not already. Or, if you are already intermittent fasting, start fasting for a full 24 to 36 hours a day, meaning practice OMAD, aka 1 meal a day. Okay, and make the meal big and nutritious and hearty. Okay, this brings your body into a state of not only ketosis but also autophagy. That way, you can aid Saturn in solidifying a more healthy and divine biology versus using a standard American/westernized diet, which is toxic as fuck. It's time to serve not only the community but yourself. Make sure that you are doing your best to constantly and consistently practice and make perfect your routine, habits, and health through servicing your own well-being. Scorpio rising and Scorpio sun. As Saturn transverses from your 6th house to your 5th house, more discipline on your pleasure centers and activities are required. Saturn is putting its foot on the brakes and having you restructure and reorganize sacral and root chakras. Okay? Yes, sex, pleasure, gambling, etc. are fun and exciting. They can also bring upon bastard kids and liver disease from too much drinking and other unforeseen consequences. Okay? It's time to take action and build back better. A new energetic change in your beliefs around what you feel like is fun. You can pick up reading, meditation, dance, painting, drawing, poetry, etc. When you get good enough at it, when Saturn goes back into Aries in February 2026, you can share your new passions and skills with other people. Start thinking about how you want to grow in this area of your life, as it will be a consistent theme until February. Sagittarius rising and Sagittarius sun. Hopefully I didn't. As Saturn exits the party in the 5th house and crosses the threshold into your legacy, family, and home environments in your 4th house, it's bringing the opportunity to nurture into existence a more controlled frame with regards to why you handle your family dynamics the way you do. Saturn is asking you to revisit old events and situations in regards to your family. This may be a struggle, as your career has a light shined on it, right? Sun in 10th house, and may be calling your name. However, the South Node in Virgo is asking you to release that logical and practical overthinking quality and structure a state of homeostasis in your roots. Damn. Bars, bro. Take your time, as I know family can be family. However, still family, you know? Allow yourself grace in your journey. Capricorn rising and Capricorn sun. Listen up. Saturn, your chart ruler, is changing signs. So this is important for you to pay attention to. Okay? It's moving from your 4th house to your 3rd house, from your home and family to the realm of believing in the expression of your truth. Take the time to think about how you want to structure and organize your truth. Remember, there's a difference in your truth and the truth. Do not conflate the two. The truth is the truth regardless. However, in your own reality, in your own universe, you are the center. And your truth matters in your scope of reality. Okay? Delusionally rediscipline yourself in your truth while still remaining objective to the fact that the truth is the truth and your truth is your truth and that they are not the same. It is time to find out what you think is true and what you believe to be true versus what is truth. Aquarius rising and Aquarius sun. Now, listen up. Traditionally, Saturn is your chart ruler. So this is divinely valuable, Aquarius. Okay? Your 2nd house is now being entered by Saturn. Your belief around your self-worth, your money, and your ability to manifest into this physical plane from the primordial waters is being restructured. Your belief around your self-worth, your money, your ability to manifest into this physical plane from the primordial waters is being structured. That's the fucking bars, bro. Meditate on why you want what you want. Why do you desire the resources and love that you strive to achieve? Why do you remain so consistently stable with your unconscious beliefs? Saturn is asking you to restructure and revisit these beliefs and desires to make sure that when it leaves Pisces in February 2026, that you are comfortable with what you are now manifesting into this reality by way of the waters, as Saturn will solidify these qualities for the next 30 years. The next 30 years. This may feel daunting, but for you, Aquarius, you are an alien to this planet. So you can make this work for sure. For sure. Not worried about it. Pisces rising and Pisces sun. Who are you as an individual, Pisces? Why are you an individual, Pisces? How are you an individual, Pisces? These are questions and concepts that Saturn will be imprinting in your body over the next few months. As Saturn moves from your 2nd house to your 1st house, you are being asked to karmically discipline your beliefs in the original patterns of your initial materialization on this planet. Bars. Who were you 60 years ago, 30 years ago, at the date of your birth? Who were you in April/May of this year? If you revisit those time periods, if you're old enough, you will see that there is a connection between the time periods. Scientifically now, this life is just a cycle, and while it may not repeat exactly, it does rhyme. What and which cycle are you looking to break down and have Saturn rebuild back up into your majestic throne, which is your concept of you? In conclusion, There are a few things occurring this week. However, Saturn moving into Pisces takes the cake. Besides the eclipse, which I'm not talking about this video. There's a whole lot of restructuring going on and a whole lot of reorganizing. A whole lot of redisciplining ourselves and molding ourselves to fulfill the Saturnian tasks. Okay. This week is about taking control and providing positive containment for your life in whatever area Saturn is showing up in. Be a steward of diligent and firm action, and you will find that your life develops into a sturdy bamboo tree. It takes time for the tree, which is the house Saturn is transversing, to crack through the ground and reach the fresh air as it grows its roots first to stabilize how large, solid, and fast the tree will grow. Take your time with this, as if you do, you will blast off to infinity and beyond. That was so whack. I appreciate y'all coming. Hit the like button, share button, comment, subscribe. Help me out so I can help you out. Visit my website, haloreadings.net, to get your consultation today, reading today. If it's your birthday, Virgos, come book a reading with me. With that being said, I love you. I appreciate y'all. Thank you guys so much for even, you know what I'm saying, vibing with me and trusting me to be a guide for you and a source of inspiration. Thank you so much. That being said, peace out. With the bald head. With the bald head. With the bald head. With the bald head. Cause I forgot hit the roof and I go cool, cock a ride.